Balake. Where is Balake at?
My name's Blake.
Do you want to go to war, Balake? I'm for real. Ron.
Aaron is here, everyone. Welcome back, all members of the SP Nation. Hope you're having a fantastic Thursday afternoon. Guys, I just have the latest chapter in Scientology's perpetual war against anyone who's not them. Scientology has put the huge YouTube channel Screen Junkies square in its sights. For what, you ask? Has Screen Junkies launched a full-out assault against Scientology or David Miscavige? No, guys, it's nothing as major as that. Screen Junkies made a very minor joke about Tom Cruise and about a 1-second joke about Shelly Miscavige. And this was important enough for the great ecclesiastical leader, David Miscavige, to order his minions to set their sights on Screen Junkies. Guys, you cannot make this up. Now, I happen to love when my Scientology world and my entertainment worlds combine. I'm a huge fan of the Screen Junkies YouTube channel, have been for many, many, many years. And they did a little honest trailer video about the latest Mission Impossible movie. Let me share a couple very short portions of this with you guys so you can see what their horrible crime was. Let me see. What's the best view to use on this? Let's go with this view. Okay, check this out. This is quite literally less than a 30-second clip. Here we go.
In a world that's starting to get tired of long-running franchises, comes another installment of the long-running franchise that went from an exciting canvas for directors to make a spy movie
to the Cruise and McQuarrie Action Stunt Spectacular. Step right up, folks, and witness the ninth wonder of the world. Tiny Tom Cruise, a legend in the world of cinematic acrobatics, will vault himself off this very cliff armed only with his motorcycle and a steadfast belief in his own abilities.
Okay, wow. That was not very controversial whatsoever. Now, of course, the only thing more offensive to David Miscavige than making fun of David Miscavige is making fun of Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise and David Miscavige are the two biggest beings in this sector of the Galactic Federation, and don't you forget it. Okay, let's jump forward to the 4-minute and 37-second mark to hear what is quite possibly the fastest and shortest Shelly Miscavige joke ever. And this is their crime. Here we go. I'll share it with you again here.
or depressing installments. But Tom is only going to be able to do this one more time, okay?
What do you expect me to do? Well, just, jump. Jump?
Trust me, you're going to miss him when he's gone, like Shelly Miscavige.
That's it. That is it. That's all they did. Okay, before I forget it, I want to, before I end the video, why is Shelly Miscavige an important talking point? Okay, so you're like, all right, so what actually did Scientology do here? Did they create entire websites dedicated to destroying Screen Junkies and everyone associated with it? Not quite. They didn't go quite that far. But let me share with you what they did do. I should have set this up beforehand, but here it is. Okay, this is a Twitter account for, let me just zoom in on this. This Hate Monitor Twitter account is a Scientology front group. The Hate Monitor Twitter account is associated with this fake Scientology front group called the Stand League. And David Miscavige decided he wanted his own little front organization that would perform for Scientology the same role that the Anti-Defamation League performs for Jewish people. And that's what the Stand League is. Now, this Twitter account is dedicated to full-time, about 20 or 30 tweets a day, just crapping all over Leah Remini and Mike Rinder and Tracy McManus of the Tampa Bay Times. And let's see. So Scientology goes, I don't know who that, what is this Twitter account? Is this Perkins Miller? Okay. Obviously he's associated with a company that's associated with Screen Junkies. You must be utterly embarrassed to run a company that harasses private citizens in the name of discredited anti-religious bigotry. And by discredited anti-religious bigotry, I assume they're referring to the concept that Shelley Miscavige has gone missing and is missing. So fandom harassment in the name of bigotry, my pearls. Guys, it was a 1 second throwaway joke about Shelley Miscavige. Now, if we go down this feed here, some of these tweets are really, truly disgusting. And I would never highlight these things because I'm not trying to do Scientology any favors, but let's just, they crap on Yashar Ali all the time. I'm just trying to get to the first tweet they put up about Screen Junkies, this is just how often they tweet, guys. This is how often they tweet. We're only 2 days back now. Oh, for the love of God. Come on. Where's the next one? Oh, come on. Did I pass it? Darn it, guys. Did I pass it? Crap. I knew I should have set this up beforehand. Okay. Sorry, guys. Going back up. Going back up. Sort of defeats the purpose of my video here. Sorry. Oh, I think I was already at the earliest one. Jesus. So much for not wanting to highlight their crappy tweets. Sorry, guys. Oh my God. Okay, so this is the one that I already showed you. Maybe I was scrolling in the wrong direction. Yep, I was scrolling in the wrong direction. Okay, here we go. Hate monitor. The rest of the world recognizes that your bigoted meme has been thoroughly discredited. Welcome to being the last people in America to get the memo. Screen Junkies, the last bigots to get the memo. How dare you, sir, make a joke about Shelley Miscavige? By the way, for all the major pop culture people, please just say Shelley Miscavige's name correctly. It's so much funnier when you do. It's Shelley Miscavige. It's hard on that second syllable. Miscavige. It's not Miscavige. Anyway. Okay. What about this? What about this? These Twitter accounts are run by Scientology Sea Org members. These Twitter accounts are run by the people, some of the people who've signed the billion-year contracts to give up all worldly possessions and concerns and interests and relationships and to dedicate their next endless lifetimes to working for L. Ron Hubbard and David Miscavige and accomplishing the aims of Scientology. And generally speaking, your average Sea Org member not only is unaware of pop culture things like Screen Junkies, but could not possibly care less. It impacts their lives in precisely 0 ways. The reason I'm even explaining this is because for this Twitter account to be sending out hateful tweets about something like Screen Junkies for a 1 second Shelley Miscavige joke is quite literally proof of Scientology's policies of fair game. Always attack, never defend. Anyone who criticizes Scientology has this lifetime crimes for which they could be imprisoned. These are actual L. Ron Hubbard quotes. This is actually how Scientologists think. Because what you're seeing here is someone who's been assigned to the task of just needlessly insulting and harassing people who criticize Scientology. And I'm not saying harassing like, oh no, it's such a big deal. I know Scientologists feel like me and people like me are harassing Scientology. I'm not like, oh no, how dare you send out mean tweets. I'm just saying it's an example of Scientology actually having a policy about it. Nobody gives a damn about Screen Junkies' little Shelley Miscavige joke. But David Miscavige does. And Scientology policy dictates you must always attack. You must never defend. I mean, guys, you want to talk about and you want to talk about bigotry. I mean, okay, so look, the tweet here says the last bigots. Guys, if you don't already know, every single person who appeared on any episode of the 3 seasons of Leah Remini's television show, Leah Remini, Scientology and the Aftermath, every single person received a website dedicated to them, created by Scientology, with the most salacious slander and libel. Which one? Slander is spoken, libel is written. Slander and libel, because these websites are packed full of articles with just the most false information. And not only articles, sit down, professionally recorded one-on-one interviews with people's former family members, well, current family members who don't talk to them anymore, family members, previous friends, previous associates, coworkers, just saying the most ridiculous, horrible things. Guys, Scientology's website about me is in my own name. AaronSmithLevin.com is a hate website completely produced by Scientology, dedicated just to me. And so you want to talk about like harassment and fair game. Scientology is the last person who should be complaining and crying that someone said something mean about them on the internet. It's quite funny. Now, when they talk about discredited bigotry, the thing about Shelley Miscavige, it's an interesting, talking about Shelley Miscavige and her being missing is interesting, because for people who've watched a lot of the content about Shelley, you'll notice that there's two pieces of information sort of married to each other. On the one hand, Shelley has completely disappeared from public view and public life. And on the other hand, it's largely understood where she is. So like even the episode of Leah Remini's Scientology in the Aftermath dedicated to Shelley Miscavige, Leah Remini is one of the first people who ever reported Shelley Miscavige as a missing person. And the episode in that show dedicated to Shelley ends with Leah and Mike showing the actual Scientology base, very secretive Scientology base, where Shelley Miscavige is understood to be living and working. So when Scientology says it's been discredited, they mean, well, she's not literally legally missing. And yet there's a very important reason why I think it's important to keep talking about Shelley Miscavige. And this reason applies to what people still in the Scientology bubble would think. Scientologists are told and believe that Scientology has the only truly workable technology to handle any and all problems you could ever possibly encounter in life. And they believe that that technology works 100% of the time when applied 100% standardly. Now, never mind the fact that that sets up sort of an unfalsifiable system where anytime Scientology doesn't work, you can find one tiny little thing that wasn't applied correctly, and that explains everything. But there's one person that Scientology believes is capable of applying Scientology 100% standardly 100% of the time, and that's David Miscavige, the shortest cult leader in the world. Now, guys, while I'm talking about the shortest cult leader in the world, let me find my little banner. And let me remind everybody that if you would like to get your own little Captain Davy of Scientology's fake space Navy doll for this Christmas, guaranteed to put on a great fight with your elf on the shelf, you guys can visit the SP shop on Fourth Wall and get your little Captain Davy of the fake space Navy. 100% of the proceeds go to support the Aftermath Foundation, which helps people who are escaping from Scientology. Okay, David Miscavige is supposed to be the one dude who's at least capable of applying Scientology 100% standardly 100% of the time. So let's just say theoretically that that Shelley Miscavige isn't literally missing, but that Miscavige just became unhappy with his wife, who was also working as his assistant for like, I don't know, 15, 20 years. And he became so unhappy with her that he had to remove her from her post for her insubordination and treachery and incompetence. And he was so disgusted with her that he had her shipped off to an even more secretive Scientology base where he never had to see her traitorous face again. But she's not missing. She's fine. She's safe. Let's just assume that for a moment. It is still an incredible condemnation, not only of the Scientology technology, quote unquote, but David Miscavige's ability to apply it. Now, I know the world at large doesn't care about those two things, but I'll tell you who does. Scientologists care about those two things. Any failure or shortcomings that Scientologists have in life, they're told you just need the right piece of Scientology tech, and you just need to learn the tech, and you just need to apply it. And if you don't know the tech, you should learn it. And if you know the tech, you should know how to apply it and apply it correctly, and all this nonsense that creates this circular, unfalsifiable kind of logic. What does it mean to Scientologists? What would it mean? That even David Miscavige could not use or find or use correctly the piece of Scientology tech to fix whatever he thought was wrong with his own wife. Like, again, Scientologists, if they sort of relaxed and thought about this for a minute, would start to go, oh, this Shelley Miscavige thing, there are really some important things we should take away from this. Either Scientology doesn't work the way everyone keeps telling us it works, or if that's a bridge too far for some Scientologists to cross, it does work, but Miscavige isn't capable of applying it correctly. And if the guy at the very top isn't capable of applying it correctly, what does that mean for everything below him? I realize most people won't put that much thought into the Shelley Miscavige, situation, but I think Scientologists will if they take a chance to really think about it. What does it mean that Miscavige couldn't get his wife's ethics in? I'm talking about from the viewpoint of Miscavige. I don't believe Shelley did anything to deserve anything that's happened to her. But Miscavige thinks that she did. So what does it mean that Miscavige, because Shelley must have had huge overs. She must have had huge sins against Miscavige. What does it mean that Miscavige couldn't use the correct ethics tech and auditing tech and sec checking tech and tech to fix his dear beloved wife so that she could continue to be his assistant and help him forward the aims of Scientology? Again, I know most people aren't going to put this much thought into the Shelley thing, but it's one of the reasons I think it's so important to keep talking about it, no matter what. No matter how many times or ways Scientology wants to say, this has been fully discredited. It hasn't been discredited. It hasn't been discredited. Even if we know where Shelley is, what the fact is, Miscavige banished his wife from himself, right? He banished his wife, and by all reports, has taken to shacking up with his new most trusted assistant, Larisse Stukenbrock, or whatever her actual name is. Anyhow, we're getting a little bit too far into the weeds on this. Yeah, okay, so there you go. Screen junkies, guys. Scientology's latest target. Got one message here from CO Bilf. Scientology also fair gamed the last podcast on the left guys, threatening voicemails on the private lines, etc., and they just laughed it off. Oh my God, CO Bilf. I've heard a lot about the Scientology episodes from this podcast, but I haven't listened to them. If they're on YouTube, and if you have any timestamps where I can easily find even this thing that you're talking about here of them getting threatening voicemails, I would love to do a video about that. If you can send that to me, I'd greatly appreciate it. All right, guys, that's all I have on this one. So much more to come later today. For Clearwater residents at 7 p.m. tonight, me and Mark Bunker are going to be doing a little meetup for his city council campaign at Hacienda Corralejo restaurant, 1238 Cleveland Street, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. This is not like a fundraiser or anything. It's a meetup to get the candidate petition signed for Mark Bunker. So primarily it's for registered Clearwater, Florida voters. If you're not a registered Clearwater, Florida voter and you want to stop by and say hi, please feel free to do so. But maybe if you have a friend who is a registered Clearwater voter, bring a friend or two. All right, guys, that's it for now. Much more to come later today. Thank you to everyone who watches until the very end, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe right here. Bye.